What is up, everyone? I'm currently standing. Guys, I'm standing because I need a standing ovation. The reason why, everyone, is we are playing a super unique Pokemon that you just don't really hear about nowadays. We're going to be playing Reuniclus. Now, we're not just playing this Pokemon because I saw like a random generator or something like that. The reason why we're playing Reuniclus today is because it will play a key role against an opponent I'm playing against in what is known as a draft league. Hello, Greninja, welcome to the chat. We are going to be playing a draft league set, and we're going to be featuring a really uncommon Pokemon that's a bit of a legend of four-tone pass, Reuniclus here. All right. I want to jump straight into showing you guys what the heck a draft league even is, because there's a good chance that you may just not played in one or don't really fully know what a draft league is. So this is what a draft league is, everybody. A draft league is this big old fancy thing that is right. Oh, I think we just saw it right away. Perfect. It is right there. A draft league, chat. The core idea behind this is everyone gets their own unique set of Pokemon, their own unique set of teams. As you can see right here, this is big old thing, which you probably can't even read if you're on mobile. I'm gonna be 100 with you. But let's even a little bit closer. We see here, let's take a look at this team right here on the right here. There's this team with this title called Anaheim Alchemy's DonutsVGC, and we see this set of Pokemon, right? I try to zoom in really close so you guys can like actually see it, but you see the Mega Delphox, the Basculegion, the Vivian right here, all the way down here. All this stuff, I am the only trainer out of this set that can have those Pokemon. All of us, we take turns choosing what Pokemon we want. Every Pokemon has some pre-assigned point value that the makers of this draft league made, and the idea is you fight a bunch of different teams and they're all trying to pick weird stuff to counterpick you while you're trying to do the same thing to them. That is the core of a draft league, everybody, and we're going to be playing one of our draft league sets today. Simo says, "Ooh, hey Simo, great to see you." I'm currently on the floor. I don't know why I'm on the floor, but you know, I'm just floored to see you all. It's awesome. I'm super excited. Hope you are excited too. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so much fun. There we go. Perfect spot right there. But why are we playing Reuniclus in the first place, y'all? That's the question, right? That's the question on everyone's minds. And to answer that, we're gonna need to take a look at the team. The team that is right here. Woo! Once I figure out how to navigate Pokemon Champions menus, chat. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Look at it, says, hello PokeNerd! Welcome in. We are playing a draft league set today using a super uncommon Pokemon, using Reuniclus. I hope you're doing amazing. We'll show you guys the screen right quick. So, I will figure out how to access this menu in just a moment here. But yeah, we're gonna be playing Reuniclus, chat. Let me just right click do a little bit of a sneaky maneuver. You guys are gonna see 4 of the Pokemon I'm using on the screen, but that's actually not the correct 6. So we're gonna fix that. Pokenerd says, "I am doing wonderful." That is great to hear, Pokenerd. I am floored to hear that you're doing wonderful. It's a pretty fun Sunday, you know, the end of the weekend. Everyone got to relax a bit, do what they need to do. I mean, while everybody was relaxing, I was fighting the world champion Shohei Kimura, but generally these are pretty chill days. They're pretty chill and fun days for everybody. Let me put the correct Pokemon on some of these slots real quick, and then we'll go over each of the Pokemon. We'll go each over the members. There's a fun little spectator in the room that wanted to join before they knew that there would be a stream. But yep. Pokenerd says, "I see a Vivian. I approve." Yes. Vivian's gonna be playing a core part of today. Very core part. There we go. Toxapex nice and tiny. I'm also gonna make Hydreigon pretty nice and tiny. So let's go over things bit by bit. First of all, Reuniclus. Reuniclus right here. Reuniclus looking very dastardly, very fine in the flesh here. The reason why we have Reuniclus here is I want to create a defensive core. I want to create a defensive core between this Reuniclus here and the Toxapex at the bottom of the screen. Reuniclus has a pretty unique ability known as Regenerator. You're going to see that kind of ability way more in single battles where there's a lot more switching, but the core of it is every time this Pokemon switches out, it's going to recover a third of its health. So it's basically more healing than a Citrus Berry just for switching out, which is crazy. In double battles, you don't see it as often because the pace of double battles are just so quick and you can't afford to switch around as much. But here, we got a defensive core between the Reuniclus, between the Toxapex. There's a couple very important things that this Reuniclus does against my opponent as well. And for reference chat, this is what my opponent is running today. I'll show you all. Also use this screen so you can see it just a little bit easier, right there. You see the purple text, everyone? You see the purple text? This is what my opponent is running today. You see that Politoed, Mega Raichu, Mega Gyarados, Palafin. This roster right here, this is what we're going to be facing off against. And Reuniclus is playing a pretty important role here because it is going to be the defensive Pokemon that can take down this Mega Raichu. It has the move Psychic, and that attack Psychic has a very, very good chance to two-hit KO the Raichu on this opponent's team. And at the same time, I can also survive a Zap Cannon from Mega Raichu pretty cleanly. So it's going to be pretty great. It's going to be a great Pokemon for taking on that threat. Next up, oh. My bad, chat. We're back. I think I just made the whole entire screen disappear. Next up though, Mega Lopunny. Now this is actually a pretty fun spot for Mega Lopunny because we're really going to get to see her speed taken advantage to the fullest. Wait, I don't know what's up with my opponent, by the way. They're playing against one of their friends, I'm assuming. But Lopunny, super important here because again, we're fighting a Mega Raichu, right? And the reason why that's important is Lopunny is faster than Mega Raichu, and both of these Pokemon love to run Fake Out. So by making myself fast enough to outspeed their Mega Raichu, I'm going to have a faster Fake Out than everyone else. And Lopunny does a lot of damage with her attacks in this matchup. The Close Combat, Triple Axle, they all hit pretty darn hard. I'm actually not even running Triple Axle, even though Triple Axle is a pretty common move for Mega Lopunny. I'm running U-Turn so I can take advantage of the double regenerator that my Reuniclus and my Toxapex have. So that's the idea with her there. I did a little bit of misinput again, chat. Oopsie daisy. Next up though, we have a fellow Gen 5 veteran brethren to Reuniclus. We got Hydreigon right here. Hydreigon actually has the Choice Scarf item, and I trained my Hydreigon to outspeed that opposing Mega Raichu. Why? I really want to respect Mega Raichu. Why? Because it is if you let that Pokemon get up attacks, you're not gonna have the best time. So we're able to survive a Focus Blast by training Hydreigon really into its HP while also making it pretty darn fast. Plus, another Pokemon that my opponent has is Palafin, and there is a chance that Palafin wants to run close combat here between the Scrafty that I have, the Hydreigon that I have. Against both of those threats, it is very nice to have a lot of HP so I can survive their attacks. I also have a very high damaging attack into the Mega Raichu with the Draco Meteor. I can combine a Fake Out with the Lopunny with the Draco Meteor from the Hydreigon to get a one-hit knockout. So very valuable piece for the team, very goated Pokemon right here. Next though, chat, next, we talked a bit about this. Pokénerd brought this Pokemon up, the Vivillon. Vivillon actually pretty simple here. Chat, if you're gonna see a Vivillon, expect it to Sleep Powder. Sleep Powder is just a phenomenal move that makes it so you're going to sleep whoever you hit as long as they're not a grass type Pokemon. And guess what? If there's ever a grass type Pokemon, you just click Hurricane anyway. But my opponent actually doesn't have any grass types, so that makes Vivillon even stronger here. We're also going to be pairing it with a Focus Sash item, making it so I can always take 2 attacks, which is pretty darn important when this Pokemon is just so dang frail. We're about to begin our round shortly, everybody, so we're going to speed up some of these little talk-throughs for the Pokemon here. Last 2 here, Basque Legion. If you have played Pokemon Champions, you have seen Basculegion, you have seen the war crimes that this Pokemon can commit. And the whole idea with Basculegion today, everyone, is going to be doing as much damage as we can. Something awesome about this Pokemon is that no matter how their Mega Raichu is trained, my Wave Crash will just boom it. It will boom it into the next dimension. So if I'm ever in a spot where Basculegion gets a quick Wave Crash into that mod, we're gonna have a great time. It is gonna be fantastica, a lot of fantastica. Finally! Actually, I think that's everyone, right? Yeah. Oh, no, not finally, not finally. I'm so sorry. It would appear I have stalled this Pokemon's introduction here, but it's Toxapex. A Pokemon that, if you haven't been paying attention to VGC for the last like 6 months, you'd be like, why is this mon even here? Is this some weird pick? But Toxapex is a core defensive but also offensive Pokemon from this team because it can sit in front of many of the opposing attackers and stall them out with Toxic and Infestation combos. Real quick chat. Yeah, there we go. There they are right here. Toxapex is actually running a pretty standard spread where you dump a ton in HP, then you have your HP, right? Then you have your defense, your special defense investment, and then you go from there. And my opponent today is going to be running no rain. So they did have a Polytone on the team, but not going to be running that. I see the Raichu alongside the Mega Aggron. Pretty sure that's that is a Mega Aggron. So 2 choices of Pokemon to Mega here. Now, what are Steel types? Definitely liking Reuniclus as an option. There's not too much damage that specifically threatens it. I do see both electric types though, so I may be a bit cautious about bringing the Toxapex for this first game. Not a deal breaker though, it's not a deal breaker. Hydreigon's gonna be a really valuable source of damage in this game, I can tell. My idea right now, chat, is we have Lopunny and Vivian for a fake out Sleep Powder combo early on. That's a really difficult set of moves to deal with on the first turn. We can get a lot of momentum that way too. If anyone protects, we also have a fast Encore to deal with that. Hydreigon deals super effective damage into half of their team with Earth Power, which is a little tech move that I didn't talk about in the intro, but it's going to be pretty valuable for that. Snow is also going to be really nice to slow down the really high special attacking damage that they have. I don't really have any way to boost my speed. I'm thinking let's run Reuniclus here. Reuniclus does have Reflux, which is going to be nice versus that Mega Aggro. If they bring it, it's going to be nice against the Cold Knight if they bring that. But I was thinking they didn't bring Trick Room, and I don't have Trick Room either. One of the attacks you can run on Reuniclus is TR, but I chose not to here because there's some other attacks that I really wanted to run. Pretty interesting lead from my opponent here. Raichu and the Blastoise, as I am Lopunny and Viv. Here I'm pretty confident going for a fake out. And then here, I can Sleep Powder this Blastoise early. Blastoise. This isn't a Mega Blastoise, which is worth noting. Yeah, let's just Sleep Powder here, fake out Sleep Powder. Let's see if there's any swaps. No swaps. There could be a Protector too, but we do have Encore for that. So I'm Mega here, and the opponent's Mega as well. I'm also writing down some stuff, chat, as we go. Writing down things is great to stay focused, stay accountable during these games. Fake out connects, no protects from either Pokemon, so what's this Blastoise going to go for? Sleep Powder is going to connect. Something to note though is that because this is Draft League, not a standard Pokemon set, there could be a Lone Berry or two in this team. Well, okay, not a Lone Berry on that guy. So now I'm pressuring a KO on this Raichu with close combat right now. Vivion's also in a pretty good spot. I'm down to go for close combat. And then I'm going to hard switch. No, I don't need to switch. I don't need to switch. I think the best play is going to be Sleep Powder this left slot and quick close combat into it. Alright, Blastoise is going to switch. Palafin now. Palafin. So Palafin in the back is a pretty curious decision. Because Palafin's ability makes it so when it specifically switches out and back in, that's when it goes, that's when it transforms and it gets a lot more attack, a lot more bulk, just a way more well-rounded Pokemon. So what I'm thinking here is you probably are a Scarfed Palafin that wants to go for Flip Turn here into one of your teammates. I think I'm okay with taking that damage. I won't necessarily take it like phenomenally, but this largely seems like an okay thing to take. They're not scarfed. They're not scarfed. They're not scarfed. Okay, so this could be Wave Crash. This could just be like a raw Wave Crash that would go into my Lopunny here. Well, I'm still faster. I forgot about that. Wow. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I'm curious on if base form Palafin is slower than Zero to Hero Palafin. Because if you run enough speed on your Hero form Palafin specifically, you are able to outspeed my Vivian. That's one of the things I was trying to respect when preparing for this week. So right here, Palafin's burned one sleep turn. Jolteon's on the field, but there's no electric terrain to support its damage. But Jolteon will be moving. I don't think it would be moving first, actually. I don't know. It doesn't move first here, I'm pretty sure. I would imagine if you're attacking, you want to be attacking into my Vivian here. I'm honestly down to go for the raw close combat, and then do I want to attack? I don't know, this Pokemon's bulk is the problem, right? Let's go for attack this turn, because I feel like if you're going to be thinking about a Pokemon to attack, it's going to be this Vivian, especially because you have the electric type out. This could also be a Focus Sash Jolteon, which is worth noting too. Baby Doll Eyes. Okay, so that's a priority. That's a priority status move that lowers my attack, and that's gonna let them survive. That's worth noting. But if you are Baby Doll Eyes, that does make me wonder if you don't have Focus Sash. The reason why is since it's a move that lowers your stats, in turn, it's gonna be something that will make you bulkier, and in turn, you would want to run more bulk. What is this afternoon? First time to see, how are you? Hey, Motorhead, great to see ya. We are having a great time playing some Pokemon here. Hope we're doing well. My Blastoise is gonna wake up here, goes for a fake out. Oh, so it's a double up into my Jolteon. Okay, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. In that case, I guess then saving Protect could have been more optimal. At least for now though, I want my Hydreigon to hit the field now, I would say. And then if my Vivian faints, then we can send back in our... Oh? Okay. So Electro Web is their coverage move. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. I want Lopunny back in now. So Baby Doll Eyes and Webs as a sort of speed control Pokemon. So here, Lopunny should be pressuring a KO in either slot, but just to make sure, I want to pull up Waponi's damage in a calculator. I'm pulling up a little calculator in the background chat, trying to see how much close combo I do in the Blastoise. We don't really have time actually. I'm gonna go for Snarl here. I think Snarl is a pretty safe play, and then we're also gonna go for Fake Out into the Blastoise. I think that's best. Hey, Jolteon's gonna Tect. But Jolteon going for Tect means I am pressuring an Encore next turn. And we're gonna get this Fake Out Snarl, which is gonna really reduce the damage on this Blastoise, assuming it connects. 95 accuracy. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I've only revealed like one of my tech moves so far in that U-turn. So there's still some stuff that my opponent doesn't know I have, which is always good. I pretty much revealed everything except for Encore, but I want to keep Encore as a surprise option. I want to see how much U-turn's gonna be doing into this Jolteon. Okay, so U-turn's doing 40% into a Jolteon with no bulk, but if you have a ton of bulk, it's gonna be doing around 26%. Okay, so U-turn is very, very, very weighted to KO here. I'm not a U-turn now. This will reveal my fourth Pokemon, which is a little bit annoying, but I don't want to risk like an Aqua Jet KO me. Or like me going -1 from a close combat, and then afterward the Jet Punch from Palafin KOing me. I don't want to risk that right now. Oh, they go for Water Spout, okay. So Blastoise does Water Spout. Of course, Water Spout is going to be a move that is more powerful the more HP you have, more percentage total HP. But they still go for their Life Orb, actually. That's interesting. So Life Orb, Water Spouts. So very burst damagey Blastoise, and that means that having my Fake Out pressure is going to matter a lot into that kind of Pokemon. Palfin's still asleep here, but it did burn one sleep turn earlier when I slept it earlier with Vivian. I think we just keep going for the spread move here. I don't want to reveal Thunder. I don't think I need to reveal Thunder. Something really important in drafts, everyone, is making sure that you have a couple moves that are like a bit quirky that change the way your opponents have to play against you, but you don't want to reveal those moves when you don't need to. Like keep your playstyle simple for as long as you can until you want to go like, okay, I'm gonna spice things up here. I've clicked mostly standard moves for this first game. The only like kind of quirky move I clicked was the U-turn on Waponi, but there's still like U-turn's been run on Waponi before. Look at that close combat. And look at that! Look at that! Just like what I said, chat, just like what I said earlier. I put a ton of bulk into this Hydreigon so it could survive moves like close combat, and look what it just did. Very nice. It literally just, that's exactly what I wanted to run that bulk for. Alright, we're gonna take the first game in the set. Very, very nice. Palfin's also going to reveal close combo, which is a very important thing to know. Alright, game 2. So now it's time to think about what other strategies I could use, right? I didn't really use my Basket Region mode at all, but they did bring both electric types that game. With how their Jolteon performs, I would actually not be surprised if they put Jolteon on the bench this second game. And that could make it easier for me to run my Basket Region. And having Basket Region just fundamentally an incredible thing to have. The large reason being they don't have any ghost resistance on their 6 Pokemon that they brought. Flame says, let's go walk in. Thank you, Call Flame. Thank you, thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking Basket Region could be a nice bring this second game to keep my opponent on their toes. Like, it's very easy to just run the same strategy again. And I don't think we should like change the core strategy too much. But our bring should change at least a little bit to keep my opponents on their toes. I think it's very, very important. Look at the moves that they clicked aggressively here. They clicked Water Spout and they clicked Close Combat on the Palafin, right? Wait a second. Part of me is thinking that they might not have flip turn, but that might be a little bit too early to say. Like they could very well still have flip turn. I think this could be pretty good. This could also be pretty good. Haze. If they're running Close Combat, yeah, one thing to know, right? One thing to note is that I have Haze on my Tox effects because they have a couple Pokemon that, when set up, can actually be pretty annoying. For example, that Corviknight, but also the Palafin. However, since the Palafin has Close Combat, I'm actually going to assume that it doesn't have... I'm going to assume that it does not have Bulk Up, which is the most common set of move on Palafin. So this is pretty interesting. Aggron and Jolteon as the leads here. So there is a chance, not 100%, but there's a chance that they did not bring Raichu this game. I think the simplest play is going to be going for Sleep Powder into this left slot. Something to note as well, chat, is that this Aggron cannot run something that... It can't run a One Berry, it can't run a Chesto Berry. Because it's specifically Mega Aggron on the draft, they have to hold the Mega Stone. So they're going to Mega Evolve here. So Raichu could be in the back, but it's less likely now. Like they could bring it if they want another Fake Out user, but we saw like how Wapiti being the faster Fake Out was really valuable. Right, Fake Out connects again 39% into that Jolteon. I'm going to Sleep Powder before they can get any sort of body presses or iron defenses up, and that's really, really important. So Aggron burns one Sleep Turn here. So this model is still a threat, don't get me wrong, it's still definitely a threat, but being able to reduce its potential value like that helps a lot. I don't think a U-Turn would KO here. Judging by the Fake Out doing as much as it did, it's very likely just no bulk. And to that ends, well, it might be just like a little bit of bulk, I could just click Close Combat here. Yeah, actually, wait, we'll get a check. Close Combat hits every Pokemon that could switch in here for at least neutral damage. In that case, I think let's go for a pin of Sleep Powder and Close Combat. Okay, yeah, but Baby Doll Eyes again here. Worth noting though, it's definitely worth noting that the Aggron already burns one Sleep Turn, so it could just be another, it could just be like an iron defense here, for example, right? But they will burn their second Sleep Turn. So they can wake up either this one or the turn after guaranteed, I'm pretty sure. No, I think they wake up no matter what next turn. Alright, Palafin's gonna hit the field. Now it is worth noting that this Pokemon could be going for Close Combat here. Actually, I want to see. Okay, base form Palafin, so Babby Palafin. If I'm -1 defense, Wave Crash is going to be doing a lot, so Close Combat probably is going to KO. Yeah, Close Combat will just KO here. Okay. I'm honestly okay with that. I think the goal here is to do as much damage as possible into this Aggron before it gets any kind of setup up. So -1 Close Combat can be doing 32%. I don't think they have any sort of recovery. And yep, Vivillon did reveal that it was faster in the previous game, so I had a lot of confidence going for that there. Sleep Turn's gonna be burned, and Aggron's gonna be waking up here. So I'm assuming this is Body Press? Yeah, Body Press. So this is probably gonna, I don't think it's gonna, yeah, okay, it does one shot. Okay, that's worth noting. Oh, that was a crit. Okay, yeah, it's just a raw one shot. Okay, that's good to know. That's very good to know. However, I'm not necessarily worried about that right now. I do have a bit of a decision here of, do I want to reveal Bascusion now? I think the answer is no. I think I do not want to reveal Bascusion right now. I want to give them a bit of a illusion here of like, okay, maybe they don't have Ask. Maybe it's just like Reuniclus again. And also chat. Yeah. Okay. Chat, remember how I was saying that I didn't reveal Earth Power yet? No! Well, now I did. Corv's gonna be coming out, actually. Corviknight's gonna be coming out. Okay. Well, that's a little bit stinky. That's a little bit stinky. So they're gonna reveal Corv as their fourths. Lefty's on the Corv as well. Okay, so the goal, I would say, is still roughly the same, but I might want to reposition a little bit. But I also don't think it's the worst to just have Hydreigon plus Vivillon here, mainly since I can still just go for Sleep Powder. And also this Corviknight revealing leftovers means that it doesn't have like Lumberry, for example. So Earth Power here, even doing 36%, okay. They still have that close combat, which is worth noting though. So that's another sleep. Papa's gonna wake up here and go for close combat into my... Oh, Ice Punch, Ice Punch. So that's a 2-hit KO. That's worth noting. Corviknight's going to burn its first sleep turn. I think we just continue this war of attrition. Corviknight could wake up, but still. You could tech on Palafin here. Okay, what is Palafin revealed though? It's revealed Ice Punch. Corv hasn't gone for anything. Jolteon went for Baby Doll Eyes earlier. Aggron went for Raw Body Press. I don't know if there's been any Protect from my opponent this turn. Or this game so far. In game 1, there was a Protect on the Raichu, but yeah, still no Protects. It's making me wonder how many coverage moves they brought. Also, that was a very high roll. I think the first Earth Power there was like a low roll, which basically, chat, if you guys don't know, every single attack has a damage range. It can do a certain amount of percent or another certain amount of percent and everything in between. That Earth Power right there did way more damage than the previous Earth Power because I think that one was a high roll, meaning that it was like one of the highest damage rolls I could get. So here, I'm gonna Sleep Powder this slots just in case they wake up Protect, or wake up Priority Move rather, wake up Priority Move. Okay, they don't. So now Corviknight's going to wake up. Corviknight could KO my Vivillon here, but I think that's actually a very good thing if you do that. That's a very, very objectively good thing if you do that. It's gonna Tailwind. Tailwind makes it so Aggron's gonna have double base speed, but the problem with doubling your base speed as Aggron specifically is I'm pretty sure you still don't outspeed my Hydreigon, but you do outspeed my Hydreigon with your Corviknight right now, I would assume. Chat, right now I'm just checking Corviknight's base speed. This is the nice part about playing online specifically, is that you can just check stuff like this. So if you're max speed with Tailwinds, you could be hitting 260 speed. So there's a chance that Corviknight outspeeds my Hydreigon, but the problem is most of your standard moves like will not one-shot my Hydreigon. Plus, since close combat, yeah, there's basically no chance that my Hydreigon gets 1 KO here besides like an Aggron Body Press. But here we're gonna Earth Power. You see he does quite a bit of damage. That's actually especially defensive aggro, I'm pretty sure. Based on that damage roll. Raven's gonna take me out though. Alright, so this could be a double KO? I could have protected there, but I think this is still okay. The Rock Slide. Oh, they want to guarantee the KO into the Vivillon. But yeah, again, my Hydreigon is going to be faster than their Aggron, even in Tailwinds. just because of the Pokemon's base speed. So yep, here I reveal Basque region, and actually, chat, this is something pretty nice because if I had my same 4 Pokemon, like if I did a okay, I just won, so I'm going to use the same mons kind of deal, I would actually be in a weird spot. Even though my Reuniclus has Thunder, I would need to rely on Thunder's accuracy. But since that isn't the case, I have a Pokemon that hits both of these Pokemon for neutral damage. And one attack that's looking actually quite juicy right now, chat, is a Wave Crash into this Corviknight. Aggron's gonna protect here as I would assume Corviknight goes for a Brave Bird. So now that to protect this gun, I'm assuming this is Brave Bird. Oh, it's gonna be a bulk up. Okay. So the problem with them bulk upping here is that there's not that many turns off the Tailwinds. Wave Crash is still gonna be doing a lot as well. Yeah, that's like a 2-hit KO basically. It is a little bit scary though. Like we're not fully out of the woods, basically. Let me think though, let me think. Yeah, there's no more turns of Tailwinds. Oh no, there's one more turn of Tailwind. Oh. I'm used to this little thing being here, but it's not there for some reason. I hear Earth Power Protect is the best play. If they get a double protect, that still should be fine. But they don't go for it anyway. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Earth Power really coming in clutch as a coverage move here. Earth Power is going to be doing more damage into this aggro than the Dark Pulse would. Originally, the Earth Power was for the Jolteon and the Raichu, especially the Raichu, pretty much the Raichu if I can be 100 with you. But it's showing value to cover this other Mega Evolution here too. Okay, so my Hydreigon is basically useless for the rest of the game, which is a little bit sad, but let's see how much Last Respects is going to be doing here. Last Respects 150 base power currently? With Stab, with Life Orb, gets a +1 Corviknight, let's see it. Last Respects, boom. Okay. Oh, they bulk up again. Wait, if they went for Brave Bird there, do I just lose? I might, wait, let me see. I don't know what their attack stat is. I think I just lose that if they went for Brave Bird there. Okay, that's worth noting. Well, Aqua Jet, yeah. Aqua Jet when you're +2 should still... Oh, I don't want to mess with rolls. I'm just gonna go for Last Respects here. Okay, that's interesting. So in that case, if I could replay this set, I would definitely switch out Hydreigon earlier just so I don't potentially like risk a checkmate like that. But still, even so guys, hey! We won the set! We won the set 2-0! Let's go! Let's go! GG to my opponent, GG. That was awesome! I think that's the first set I've won in this draft league. I'm pretty happy about it. I think the preparation when it came to team coverage was pretty good. The week before, I played against Cauliflame, and Cauliflame's actually in the YouTube chat just told me W. I prepared more for that set, but I still think my preparation this week was pretty good. Like I did a lot of really taking a look at the Pokemon specifically and trying to see like what their types was, what kind of moves I could tech, what the speed stats were between each Pokemon, and it worked out here pretty well. I think Svivion was a great bring, and being able to pressure with Sleep Powder like that it's definitely valuable. It's definitely valuable for sure. I do think my opponent disrespected the chance of me bringing Sleep Powder, and we can kind of see that in how they prepped for it. I think they respected the Wapiti actually a pretty decent bit by bringing the Mega Aggro, but specifically Sleep Powder, we really saw dismantle the opposing team. Cauliflame notes in the chat that a few notes of what you were saying. One, well, Palpin Warriors have the same seeds out of 100. That's great to know. If you guys were there for that first game, y'all, something worth noting, or something that I was like a little bit confused about, was that I was outspeeding their Palpin as Vivian. And for reference chat, this is what my Vivian spread was. It was not exactly max speed. Let me actually zoom in so you guys can like freaking see the screen. Right here, yeah, speed side right here, speed side right here. I'm pretty sure it was 150. I'm gonna pull up the exact spread shortly, guys. Just one moment. Yeah. It was 154 speed. But the thing about being 154 speed is that technically, if you ran enough speed on your Palafin, you are able to outspeed that. Like for example, here, if I just take away the HP here, and then you see you have to run a Jolly Nature for it, but you can still definitely outspeed a Pokemon that is you can outspeed my Vivian pretty smoothly. But what I was confused about in that first game was that Babby form Palafin, I wasn't sure if Babby form Palafin had 100 base speed or not, because if you still ran Jolly, like now that we know, like if you run Jolly and you have enough speed, like yeah, you still outspeed Vivian anyway. But I mean, that's worth noting. That's definitely worth noting. Conflict also notes that if they clicked Brave Bird when it was 8%, you still win because of recoil. Oh, okay, that's a big relief. That's a big relief. Something that happened in that game too, chat, was I had a little bit of a confusing moment where I went for Last Respects and their Corviknight narrowly survived. But the problem with their Corviknight surviving was that they had enough HP to still go for an attack afterward. And I was worried that, okay, if my Bascution went down to a Brave Bird or something like that when they just had that narrow sliver of HP, I might have lost, since my partner Pokemon there, the Hydreigon, was locked in Earth Power. And of course, Earth Power is a ground type move that can't hit Corviknight for any damage. But Cauliflame was like, is saying here, like, if they went for Brave Bird and tried to kill my Baxter, they would still lose anyway because of recoil. So that's a relief. That's relief. Cauliflame notes, plus the more HP you deal, the more recoil you take. Yeah, that's a good point. So I guess we're good there, the way. Yellowbrick says, hey! Sadly, nothing goes bad, but let's say hi. Hi, Yellowbrick! Great to see you, Yellowbrick! Oh my gosh. Chat for reference, I actually had an amazing time chatting with Yellowbrick over a stream. One of the streams that we did here, we did a stream that was all about team building around my #1 favorite Pokemon, Audino. I want to show you guys that stream. I want to show you guys it right here. It looks a bit like this. Boom. I saw James back. Shout out James back. But yeah, this stream right here, I was playing. I was building a team alongside Yellowbrick, and then I went into some practice matches with it. But it was a blast. It was a blast talking to Yellowbrick during that stream. And if you guys haven't seen it, there is the link. It's right there. I'll also post it in the YouTube chat. I'll post it in both chatties. That is pretty awesome. There you go. I'll send some GGs to my beloved opponent, John Jimmy there. John is a homie, so I'm happy to play against a player like that. I'm pretty sure John is like a fellow newer player, which is, you know, it's cool. I really am happy that Pokemon Champions, it's getting so many players into the game to experience this, because, I mean, this game is beautiful. It has been an absolute blast to play this game so far, and I'm going to play this game for several more years to come, so I mean, I'm happy Pokemon Champions got me into it. I want to check out something real quick, chat. Chat, one moment. Just give me one moment here, okay? I'm gonna come back with something really, really cool. But just give me a little bit here, a little bit. Okay, we are back. We are back and we're better than ever. And you may be wondering, okay, what was that short break for? What are we doing now? Chat, I needed to mentally prepare myself because this Audino in the corner right here, well, that's me also as well. Say hi to Audino. She's not here for fun, chat. She's here to do something very, very evil. Something that I'm not prepared for. I don't think she's prepared for. But, you know, I saw this amazing team. I want to give this a shot. Well, let's not be as vague about it. Let's talk about it. Chat, we are going to be running minimize, evasion, never get hit strategies in the ranked ladder. Now, chat, you may be thinking, okay, well, what's so evil about that? Why is that evil? Why is that so heinous? The reason why is most players, they like to play their games, you know, pretty short and sweet. They like to land their attacks, they like to deal damage to the opponent, and they're not the biggest fan of taking no damage and dealing no damage back. However, this team is designed to disrupt the very flow of battles themselves, and this can create many what is known as trauma responses in the Pokemon community. Chat, this team will create trauma responses. Not trauma responses as in like literal trauma, but if you fight against a team like this and you're not ready for it, you don't have the things, you don't have the strategy to make your game plans work against it, it's gonna feel terrible. It's gonna feel truly like you can't do anything. That's what we want our opponents to feel today, chat. When we're running this team, we don't even necessarily want to win. We just want to create a state where the opponents cannot do anything. And it's gonna be access through these two Pokemon right here. First off, Overqwil. The idea with Overqwil is we see three setup moves, right? We see the Minimize, we see the Stockpile, we see the Sword Stance. Minimize is a very funny attack that doubles your evasion, makes it so you just will not get hit half the time. Basically, you're not going to get hit by very many attacks. You get two Minimizes off, you're pretty much not going to hit for the rest of the game, unless they get really, really lucky. But if they get lucky, that's what Stockpile is there for, chat. You're able to increase your defenses so that even if they somehow hit you through all your Minimizes, you're not taking any damage back. Intimidate plus Stockpile means that you are going to be taking attacks for years to come. Sword Stance, Throw Chop, those are mostly there to, one, prevent strategies, and two, prevent specific strategies like Pair Song and all that stuff, and two, to make sure you can deal damage back so the game just doesn't result in a tie. Chandelure here is going to be pretty similar to Overqwil, where you have the Acid Armor, which is going to be greatly increasing your defenses, and that combined with the Minimize and the Calm Mind means you're just going to be this unkillable candle. Flamethrower is also going to be nice for dealing damage once you are already set up. And chat, you may be wondering, okay, well, that makes sense, but how exactly are you supposed to get off these attacks safely? Like, minimize, it sounds like it can take a turn or two, but by the turn you already get your minimize up, you might just be low HP anyway. And that's a fair thing to wonder about. It's a very fair and understandable thing to worry about. But chat, that is what Audino is here for. Audino has a special move here that only he gets, called Simple Beam. Look at that. She's pointing to it right there. Simple Beam, Simple Beam. You guys see that? Simple Beam. This changes the ability of whoever hits to Simple. And that may just sound like a funny name. Like that, you know, there's Worry Seed, which changes your thing to Insomnia, but that doesn't necessarily get that much play. Simple Beam is ridiculous. Because if you use a buffing attack when your ability is simple, that attack gets doubled. So here, Overcool. If Overcool has the ability simple and uses minimize, its evasion goes up 4 stages and it just immediately becomes so much harder to deal with. Stockpile, if you go for stockpile when your ability is simple, double defense, double special defense. So it says 3 times your attack. It is truly insane. When you have simple, your buffs, they can storm out of control extremely quickly. Plus, Audino here has Trick Room. Trick Room makes it so these two Pokemon, usually they're going to be moving in about the middle or on the lower end of the speed spectrum, but all of a sudden they're going to be moving much faster. PokeNerd says, you know what else is ridiculous? What's ridiculous, PokeNerd? I'm curious. What is it? What is the most ridiculous thing? My mom! Oh, you got me there. You got me there. Oh. You got me there, PokeNerd. I was not ready for that one. The great part about this team though, chat, is that it doesn't end with these two. It doesn't just end with 2 Pokemon that set up and minimize and become really annoying, because there's a third one. Malamar, and specifically Mega Malamar, is the keystone that makes this team flow. Because once Audino goes down, or once either of these supports that we're going to talk about in a little bit go down, Malamar can come in, use Psych Up to copy what the Overcool has in terms of buffs, or to copy what the Chandelure has in terms of buffs, and then also become ridiculously unkillable. That combined with Superpower to buff its attack and defense every time it goes for it, and Rest to fully restore its HP whenever it needs. Ooh, these 3 together, they're like pretty evil. But with Malamar, this becomes a whole entire legion. This becomes a cult. Finally, Dragapult and Whimsicott, they're more here for tech options. The nice part of Whimsicott is that you have Taunt, which can stop things like opposing Roar, which is very nice. It can stop things like Encore, which can also be pretty nice. While Dragapult, on the other hand here, has these screens. And the nice part about setting up screens early is that screens can make it so you can go for your minimizes, go for your stockpiles a bit more easily. Will-O-Wisp is pretty similar to Reflect in what they do. And then both these Pokemon have moves that let themselves basically take themselves out. Dragapult here has Curse to take itself out, and Whimsicott also has Memento. It's not by mistake. These moves help Malamar get in. So the core of the team, pretty simple, right? Get buffs. Audino helps you get those buffs. Whimsicott, Dragapult, they help you get those buffs. Once one of these 3 Pokemon explode, Malamar comes in, copies the buffs. That's the core idea, and we're gonna play some games on the ladder with this squadron. Now, one thing I do have to warn you guys. Sometimes games with this kind of team can take a long ass time. They can take a while because it can be a lot of waiting, a lot of buffs and the opponents aren't doing any damage, and buffs and the opponents aren't doing any damage. And then, oh, they do a little bit too much damage? Okay, now we're gonna play really slow. But it's a beautiful slow burn. Think of it as like a slow burn comic chat. Also, the nice part about the strategy is that because it's so slow in pace, it gives you more chances to talk to you guys. So if you guys have any funny things, any funny stories, now is the time to let me know, because we're gonna be here for a bit. Okay, so first we're going to be fighting T-Tar Raichu team as my cap falls on the floor. I have a little cup of soda chat that I just poured into. So this is pretty interesting, right? Because sand means that there's passive damage. And I'm not the biggest fan of passive damage when my whole entire idea is to become unhittable. I want to think in terms of who can sweep the best, right? Between Chandelure and Overqwil here. What I think could be strong actually is going our Dragapult. Because Dragapult has Will-O-Wisp alongside having Reflect, and that's very, very nice for slowing down the kinds of Pokemon that our opponent has here. I think let's do something like this. 1, 2, 3, and then as a fourth Pokemon, I think we can Audino here. I think we can Audino it up. Oh, maybe I could lead Audino actually. I think leading Audino is actually pretty good here. No, I'm good with this. I'm good with this. Pokédex says, Donut, I would be careful around Garchomp teams. There's a lot of special attacking Mega Garchomps running around. That's a good point, PokeNerd. We could very well be facing a Mega Garchomp that's running some special attacks here. Could very well have that happen. Alright, Sandstream's gonna go off from the Tyranitar. We're gonna see Intimidate. I'll get Mirror Armor, but that's not really the worst. That's not the worst. Getting an Intimidate on this Tyranitar though, I'm a huge fan of. I'm thinking let's go for let's Reflect first. Let's Reflect and then we'll Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, let's do this here. Pretty curious on what my opponents are going to be doing in response to this puff ball on the screen, just puffy fish, puffer fish even. Your Reflect goes off here. There's a good chance this Tyranitar goes for some kind of dark type attack. U-turn now. U-turn for the Corviknights. So what are you gonna go into here? Excadrill is gonna come on now. Interesting. That does make me pretty happy that oh, they knocked out my wide lens. That's a little bit scary. That does make me happy that I went for Reflect. Because otherwise, Excadrill would be moving before me and doing potentially a fair bit of damage. Alright, let's go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Excadrill here. Because that is the scariest of the two Pokemon for specifically my Overqwil to deal with. And I think let's go for a second... Let's go for a second Minimize. Let's go for a second Minimize. The T-Tar is going to Mega Evolve here. There could be a Protector too. Ironhead's gonna go first. Reflect, well, yeah, the Reflect and the bulk on the Dragapult here is coming in clutch as we connect that Will-O-Wisp. We're probably gonna go down this turn with Dragapult. I'm assuming the Tyranitar attacking to me. Oh, they just knocked me off. So they're gonna knock on my leftovers. That's actually pretty annoying. Not the worst though, not the worst. We do have Heal Pulse on our Audino. So we can always do that as needed. We're gonna get some burn damage. And the nice part about this is that we have 4 stages of evasion raise. And we can buff our defenses now. But the biggest thing is that we could potentially connect this Will-O-Wisp on the Tyranitar. And being able to wisp both of their physical attackers like this would be really nice, especially since T-Tar is their Mega Pokemon, so it's their biggest source of damage. The opponents are deliberating right now. They're like, what do I do against this Puffball? What do they do? Alright, Excadrill. They do go for Rock Slide, which is going to miss me, but... Oh! Okay. I disabled the Rock Slide too? And the Will Wisp next! Oh my god. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, this is very nice damage reduction. Dragapult really made its merit this game. It is worth noting though that Reflect will be ending pretty soon. But like, I was able to get one defense buff, I was able to get multiple stages of evasion, so this is still pretty darn good. Alright, now that both of my opposition are burns, and we still have what, one turn of Reflect? We have 2 turns of Reflect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm gonna go Audino now. I'm gonna save Malamar for the later half of the game. And this is also nice because I can use Heal Pulse on my Overcloak pretty soon. But first I'm gonna go for Trick Room. And let's go for a Sword Stance. Let's go for a Sword Stance now. It's a little bit risky to go for a Sword Stance since they're just going for another stockpile, but I think this is okay. Alright, Tyrantile is gonna swap out, but that burn was still sick as Corviknight hits the field. I think he was gonna go for Earthquake here. And Overcoat's going to dodge thanks to that evasion, insane evasion stats. Reflect and oh my god, Audino, you are so tanky. You guys see that? Audino literally just took like no damage. Oh my goodness. Alright, Trick Room is now up. So this is awesome because I can go for Simple Beam now. I can go for Simple Beam and then really start to buff my stats with the Overquill. I'm gonna go for Heal Pulse first though, just in case my opponents start to get aggressive. And then I can go for +2 Throat Chop, but it's still gonna do a decent bit of damage. Heal Pulse. Thank you, Audino. +2 Throat Chop. Gonna be 3 KO onto the Corviknight, but it could have the thingamabob. I forgot what it's called. It could have leftovers. There we go. Alright, both Earthquake and Iron Head connect there, which is pretty scary. Pretty scary. I think in that case, let's use this turn to be a bit more defensive. Also worth noting that the critical hit did slow me down a little bit there, but not the worst. Not the worst. The Heal Pulse and Stockpile this turn looks strongest. This seems a very patient style of play. It's very patient. Like, you still gotta keep track of a few things, but like you're taking your time with this kind of team. U-turn connects here. So they're going to pivot into what could be either the Tyranitar or the 4th Pokemon here. What's it gonna be? Gonna be Tyranitar now. Okay. I am +2 defense, thankfully. Earthquake's going to get back on everybody though. I did go for Trick Room. I went for Heal Pulses twice. I don't think I've gone for Simple Beam yet, right? I don't think I've gone for Simple Beam yet. I'm gonna go for Simple Beam plus a 3rd stockpile here. I did realize here I did do something a little bit suboptimal where yeah I didn't know about that actually. Okay, apparently Simple Beam can miss on my own Pokemon too. So Overcook's kind of causing a bit of mayhem for everybody. Burn knockoffs are gonna be doing a fair bit here. Alright, head. Okay, so my Audino is going to poof. Unfortunately. This is a little bit scary though because I haven't really got that much progress. Well, I mean, the burn is honestly adding up pretty well. We're gonna need Malamar to go a little bit crazy here, go a little bit ballistic though. Okay, how many turns of Trick Room? We got 1 more turn of Trick Room. So here, let's Mega Evolve. Let's go for, I think Psych Up first. I think Psych Up first is good, and then we'll go for a +2 Throat Chop into the Overquill, into the Axigil. We didn't get as many buffs as I would like. Definitely worth noting that Audino as a lead is best because that's when I can Simple Beam the most guaranteed, but still We learning, we learning. Nice, +2 throw chop's gonna send that Exeggutor extremely low. Not going to take it out though. Earthquake's going to block on the protect. Malwar's gonna dodge. Overclock will not dodge though, which is pretty scary. Never mind, I took 0 damage. Sandstorm, I would say, is actually the scariest part here though. But Exeggutor will get taken down. Okay, so now things are a little bit interesting because my opponents are going to start moving first. Malwar's in a decently positioned spot, but I'd like to get at least... I'd like to get a bit more chaos, basically. Let's see, Garchomp hitting the fields. Dark Psychic. So I don't think you have anything super effective into me. You know, fingers crossed, but... I'm gonna try something... I think let's take out the Tyranitar here. And then... I'm down to go for a third Minimize. This is a little bit greedy, but I think this is maximizing the chances that we can be on the field is pretty important here. So Earthquake goes off. Malwar's going to dodge. And Overcook's going to dodge. Nice! Thank you. Superpower is going to connect for really good damage. And now we are +3 attack and +4 defense, I'm pretty sure? I think it's +4. Now Overcook's max evasion too. So we're getting set up here pretty well. So now, I think Store Power could be a good call. I think Superpower is the safest. Plus I'm still boosting my defenses, so I'm gonna go for that. And then, let's go for Throw Chop into the left slots. We're just gonna protect here. But we did go for super power into the Garchomp. Earthquake. Let's see. Oh, it goes in the dodge. Nice. Malmar would take it though. No crits. Thank you. Super power connects. Boom. Nice. Okay, that's a clean 2k right there, and we're getting ramped up as well. Garchomp will dink off the protect though. Okay, Sandstorm does subside this turn. I wouldn't be surprised if you switch Garchomp, or if you switch Tyranitar into one of these slots. So I'm going to change up my lines a little bit. I'm going to go for Throw Chop into the Garchomp, predicting that they switch to the left side right now. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Oh, they go for U-turn, but U-turn's gonna whiff. They go for Earthquake here. Malwar's gonna dodge. And Overclock dodges! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, this is looking really good now. Alright, this +2 Throw Chop KO this Garchomp? Oh my god, it does! Yo, Overclock! Yo! Thank you, OG. Alright, just the Tyranitar left. We're looking good. Nice. Now chat, is this strategy moral? That's the question, right? Because we just hit Master Ball tier using Malamar Audino. Now, I don't know if this team is necessarily moral, but it has Audino on it, so you know, it has Audino, so I'm happy. Either way, I'm happy. I'm way happy. Carl is giving me some fancy text right now. Congratulations on your 3rd time reaching the Master Ball tier, DonutsVGC. Thank you. It seems you are able to win your battles with admirable consistency. Scarce few trainers can say the same. Aww. You have my deepest respect for all the efforts you must have put in to make it this far. Why, I imagine you are not capable of defeating almost any trainer out there. Thank you. That's so kind. I mean, not that many trainers can deal with Audino Malamar strat. Oh my gosh, single battles. Chat, how much have you all played single battles? Since I mean, I don't really I don't really touch single battles too often. I actually watched a lot of Smogon growing up, but I'm a BGC player. I love me some BGC. I love me some double battle. So here we're facing Beedrill Aerodactyl Duo Mega Team. Araquanid's very interesting. That could be maybe like an anti-Trick Room Pokemon for this team. Leading Intimidate's a little bit scary here. Okay, it says, I heard Araquanid? Boom! Araquanid in the flesh. Right next to Empoleon here. Very interesting set of Pokemon for sure. Yeah, they got the double bugs. They got 2 bugs. Dos buggos. This is interesting. Dealing with this opponent's team might be a little bit quirky. Part of me wants to get a bit creative with what I lead here. I think I have to call if they go Sneasel or not. Let's run this here. Let's run this here. I probably could have led Dragapult in hindsight, but I was a little bit confuzzled. Okay, they're gonna lead Beedrill alongside Sneasler here. Beedrill Sneasler. That's a Focus Sash Sneasler, based on Intimidate working properly there. So this is a little bit scary for my Audino, because right now they're pressuring Audino with the close combats. So what I'm down to do, I'm gonna hard switch here, and then we can go for a... I'm thinking let's go for a minimize here. Let's go for a minimize. Because as we swap in Dragapult, we should be able to go for a Screen or a Will-O-Wisp combined with the second minimize. So we won't be able to go for Simple Beam Self. It's worth noting that minimize lowering or increasing my evasion does affect my allied moves like that. They got into like Overcoat actually, so this could be an attack into the left slots. Poison Jab into my Audino. That's interesting. And they do poison me, but thankfully poison is actually a very good thing. Poison is very, very, very good for us. The reason being, we kind of want Dragon Ball to explode. Like we want Overcoat to stay alive for as long as possible, and we want everyone else that's not Overcoat, Chandelure, or Malamar to kind of just like explode. This is low-key good. Right, Reflect and Minimize looks like our strongest play right now, and then we can start spamming Will-O-Wisp after that. U-Turn's gonna connect into the Overcoat, doing about 30%. We stand out here. This could be Incineroar. Oh, I called it perfectly, actually. We will get a minimize off when the Incineroar hits the field, though. Ghost Combat will connect on me, though. Doing a fair bit of damage. Can't lie. Doing a fair bit of damage. Being able to minimize now is pretty nice. I think your best play is going to be the Will-O-Wisp alongside the second minimize here. Something I know that bypasses accuracy is that Darkest Lariat though, so it could be worth going for a stockpile now. Yeah, actually, let's go for stockpile now. Let's go for stockpile now. I should be able to outspeed the Incineroar on the following turn, so I may take more damage from like a close combat here, but being able to boost my defenses for the Darkest Lariat is gonna matter a lot. Close combat here. Nice, nice, nice. There's our first stockpile. Now we kind of want Dragon Ball to like explode. So let's go for Curse here. Curse and I would say another Minimize. That the point is pretty defensive until we can get our Trick Room off. Caesar's gonna reset as Aerodactyl hits the field. Okay. My only berry on this team is like one berry, so that's fine. As we curse Incineroar. Cursing Incineroar is also nice because this Pokemon's a little bit difficult to break. It's gonna take a ton of throat chops to actually take out this Pokemon, especially if it's a Citrus Berry. So the chip damage from Curse is actually pretty valuable here. Darkest Lariat doing 30% here. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, you know what? Hit the stage. Pokemon said earlier that I don't care about the pick of my sons in the Master Ball. I don't think they brought Araquanid in this game, sadly. I think actually Araquanid could be pretty good into this team if you have like the right attack on it. Shout out to Araquanid. Araquanid's a nice little bug. Nice little spider. Well, big spider actually, humongous spider. Insanely huge spider, but like cute little spider at the same time. I'm thinking let's go for a stockpile here. We're just gonna hit the stage. I didn't get a burn on the Beedrill, which is worth noting. Rock Slide is going to whiff Overqwil here. Life Orb Aerodactyl, that's worth noting. Okay. We're gonna get our stockpile off, so we're 2 stockpiles right now. And we do get Trick Room! Oh, nice, 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 nice. I was so worried about the flinch. That was a pretty vulnerable turn, but now that we have the Trick Room off, things are gonna get a lot easier. It is worth noting that Reflect is going to end this turn though. Now let's go for Heal Pulse, and I think let's just get some damage into this. Well, we're -1, so we kind of need the Swords Dance. Okay, they're gonna cycle out their Beedrill for Incineroar. So Swords Dance here about a net neutral. Heal Pulse will go off. I thought it was gonna go for a Rock Slide here. Okay, pretty interesting. Now we'll be chipping its own self. Let me take a look at my Overqwil's. Okay, the opponent just forfeit there. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Shout out to Audino. Audino. Chat, who'da thunk? the whole thing about choosing a unique Pokemon, right, is trying to find things that only it can do. And this is a team that I did not make. It was a team that a extremely talented player known as Pokemon Zoo made. And in the previous season, they got 147th place with it. 147th place with Audino and Mega Malamar. So it goes to show, if you find a unique strategy for your Pokemon, and you paired with the right Pokemon, even if they may or may not be the most meta, but instead of what synergizes with them the best, you can create a very, very good team. So here we're facing against us. I wonder if this team is manual Sunny Day, as in this Whimsicott has Sunny Day, and it would just click it with next to their Pyro or their Typhlosion. What I'm thinking though is of leading these two, Audino in the back, and then Malamar as a fourth. Yeah, I think this is pretty solid here. Having Flash Fire is nice into, well, both of their fire type Pokemon. But it's a little bit scary because the Hisuian Typhlosion is pressuring me with that ghost type damage, right? But let's see here. Okay, so they're gonna go Caught Typhlosion. This could be a Tailwind Eruption play. What is it? Attempted Tailwind Eruption play? What it could do this turn is Light Screen. And of course, just like that Hisuian Typhlosion is just terrifying right now. I think the best play is actually going to be to swap out into Audino here. Can we curse another ghost type, chat? I don't think we can. I don't think that's how it works. Yep, Tailwind, but Shadow Ball into my Dragon Ball actually. But we're gonna narrowly survive that. Thank you, Dragon Ball, because now we can not only disable the Shadow Ball, we disable the Shadow Ball, we disable the Shadow Ball, we disable the Shadow Ball. Oh my god, that's huge. Oh, that's huge. Oh, disabling the Shadow Ball is humongous there. Okay, just so I don't get Encored, I'm gonna switch. I'm actually gonna, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm also gonna click Trick Room. Because my opponent doesn't know. My opponent does not know about the tricks I'm running. Oh, they will go Mudstone though. Mudstone's pretty scary because I have a fire type Pokemon, chat. Yet they do go for Encore. Trick Room's gonna activate now. I'm gonna go for Minimize and Simple Beam here. Actually, chat, one thing I'm worried about because, okay, so there's moves like, there are certain attacks in this game, right, that will always hit a Pokemon that has higher evasion and deal extra damage. I'm worried that High Horsepower is like that, but I'm pretty sure it's not. High Horsepower is not like that. Okay. So we're gonna go for Simple Beam and Minimize here. Helping Hand. This could be Helping Hand and Earthquake, maybe? Oh wait, I think Mudcell's actually slower. No, I think Mudcell is slower than my Shendor. Oh. Okay, well, okay, they went for High Horsepower to my Audino here. I will gladly take that. I'm very relieved about that, honestly. Alright, now that we did that, let's go for Acid Armor here. And just just in case, I think we heal Pulse just in case. The problem is I don't think I'm taking a high horsepower anyway from the Chandelure. Like, Chandelure is a pretty glass cannon-y type Pokemon, and Audino's on the other hand is like extremely bulky. Alcor's gonna whiff on me, which is very appreciated. Heal Pulse is also gonna do nothing here. Oh, but high horsepower does connect. That is a bit of a pretty scary situation now. Wow, okay, that's interesting, right? We can't hit the field with the Malamar here. I think if we... Now the game plan is going to be getting buffs on our Malamar, right? So to that end, I think we go for Simple Beam and Superpower into the Mudsdale. We're going to have to pretty much build our buffs from scratch, which is going to be really difficult. I also don't know if this Audino is packing a fairy type attack or not. Maybe Helping Hand though. Could be Helping Hand horsepower again. Oh, Rock Slide. Wow, interesting. I think there is one more turn of Trick Room after this. We will connect the Superpower though. Light Screen's gonna wear off here, but that's fine. And one more turn of Trick Room exactly. I'm gonna go for another Superpower and Reflect, but it's gonna be really hard to get this Reflect off. Helping Hand here again. Oh, they get another high horsepower. So it might be a little bit hard, y'all. We will be able to get the Reflect off though. Maybe I could have swapped out my Audino. Our own Whimsicott could actually been a really good bring here in hindsight. Because it resists the Mudsdale attacks. Maybe Caught over Dragapult here is the play. It's pretty interesting. I'm thinking here, let's go for Superpower into the Whimsicott and then... Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, okay, that's actually fine. That's low-key fine. I may have opened the way for this Mudsdale to land and attack into me, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Yeah, they get the horsepower, but I survive. Maybe there's a chance, chat. Maybe there's a chance. Mudsdale fainted here, but I think they have a special attacker in the back, right? Typhlosion! Typhlosion might be well-fitted. Kind of walked in the Reflect right now, unfortunately. I think if they just don't click Eruption here, we're fine. Don't click it. Oh, they clicked it. They clicked it. Ah! Okay, GG. GG. They played well. They played well. Yeah, let's bring Whimsicott versus that kind of team next time where they have the ground type Pokemon. I think that's really what it's gonna shine against. I think a lead of caught, my own moves are caught, and Overquill would actually be the best lead there. I have to throw Chop into the Typhlosion too. Something I was looking out for when it came to not choosing Overquill was the Fairy Resist in Primarina. But in hindsight, it's not really that bad to face that down. One mode they could have brought as well was the Pyroar mode with Sunny Day Caught. That could have been a little bit annoying for Overquill because I would have to like take a pretty hefty attack early. I guess I really have to make the right call because if they bring Pyroar, then yeah, it's harder to bring Caught. But if they didn't bring Pyroar, like if they did there, then Caught would be a better bring. Also, then bringing Mudslide made Wings Caught a better bring too. Okay, GG. Okay. Oh, Mega Aggron with Mega Delphox, and it's a setup team. This could be setup and hyper offense at the same time. I mean, Overquill's looking really good here. They have no ground type covers in sight besides like maybe Earth Power or like Earthquake on Aggron. Do I want to lead? The thing is that I feel like they're going to lead Sneasel early. Actually, you may not lead Sneasel early. Well, you could because I have the Whimsicots. I could see them seeing that and then going Whimsicott and then like predicting and thus throwing Sneasler. This could be a Choice Scarf Hydreigon, which would make it way harder to bring Dragapult. It feels like I need to make the right call. I'm gonna predict them. I'm gonna predict that they are leading Sneasler. Because they see the Audino, they see my own Whimsicott, and they would want to go Sneasler in response to that. Well, Aggron Hydreigon. Oh, okay. So that's not the lead I want to see. The scary part about this one, chat, is that Hydreigon like this are usually going to be running Choice Scarf. This could be like a Choice Scarf into my Dragapults before it can attack. I could take two of those with my own Audino, but that also seems a little bit risky. Let's play like they're not Scarfed and go for Light Screen Minimize here. If they are Scarfs, then we get a free switch into Audino here, and that's not necessarily too bad. It's worth noting though that I am speed sandwiched. Like they are faster and slower than me. And yeah, I did Caught. Yep. That's gonna be the Dark Pulse Hydreigon here. If we can dodge this, actually they're probably going for Iron Defense, yeah? Iron Defense, okay. So we're both going to be setting up our defenses here. But them being locked in the Dark Pulse isn't necessarily the worst for me. But there is a bit of a problem. It's that the Aggron could be one-shotting me with Body Press right now. But is that actually that bad? I think let's try simple beaming. Of course, it's very likely going to miss, but let's try it. Let's try it. I'm gonna try the mood. Heavy slam, actually. Oh no, that's very scary. Simple beam misses. The thing about heavy slam is I'm pretty sure it's one of those moves that will. Yeah, it bypasses minimize and does extra damage to it. That's pretty scary. Here, I think heal pulse is to play them. We're gonna get the stockpile and heal pulse. Not gonna get as many bosses as I want going into this end game, which is a little scary. Oh wait, they moved before me now? Are we speed tied? Oh, I might be speed tied with the Aggron. Oh, okay. That's very scary. I think for now, let's start. I don't want this Hydreigon coming back in the game. How can I get back in this? I need to Trick Room up. I'm gonna protect this turn because they've been like continuously going for damage into my Audino, so I'm gonna tech this turn. Yep, tech is gonna bounce off. Superpower connects. Oh, that's a 2 KO. If I can get a double protect, there could be a chance here. Body press. You're about 30%. Okay. There's a Aeron. Great to see Aeron. We are currently using one of those devious strategies in Pokemon Champions. I hope we're doing well. We're having a swell one. Looks like the double protect will not go off though. We're gonna trade out one, so we at least get to see their back Pokemon. Heavy Slam is a nice bring though into this evasion-based strategy. I respect it. This is definitely one of the playstyles where there is a lot of little things that can be done to counterplay it that ends up being pretty. It makes the consistency of it a little bit worse. But I also think the team is just made really well to where that could be okay. I'm gonna go for. Let me think here. The problem is that this Aggron's getting +6 defense. Rests. One turn wake. I think we just have the superpower of this Aggron now and hope that we crits. Oh, they teched on Sneasler. If we crit superpower, then we could be back in the game. We do not crit. Okay, so what do they go for then? This could be like a heavy slam? Okay, body press. You're gonna tank it. I'm gonna go for a rest now. CC, let's see. We do live it, so we are going to get this rest off. Okay, it's an unburdened Caesar. That's worth noting. So we're not going to be able to really move for 2 turns at the lowest tier. Body press, almost +6. Oh, I think that's too much damage. We're gonna have to take like what, 2 Sneasler attacks now? I do think one of the biggest things this game was the lead, where I made the call that they would want to lead Sneasler because I have the caught because I have the Audino, but them going Hydreigon as a lead would in turn make what I want to do a bit different. Like having Whimsicott lead would be really good there. We can Moonblast the Hydreigon, do a lot to it, and then we can Memento out while we're still setting up with minimizes. Them having Heavy Sun as a whole is pretty scary. What I could do actually, I don't have Fake Out, right? Curse could be really good into Aggron. Honestly, you know what I could do? I could go Malamar as a lead and then clear the Aggron out early with superpowers while leading Cots. I think that actually could be the best lead, since I'm usually only leading one of the minimized users. But I think in the cases where they can have a move that bypasses evasion like Heavy Slam, then bringing out the Malamar early is to play. Ooh. Oh, 3 drinks soda redeemed from Roan. I gotcha. Gotcha. That was awesome. Hell yeah. Thanko, thanko. Wait, by the way, did I participate in the other 2 Swiss rounds of day 2 of Victory Road? I finished playing at round 7, I believe. Pretty much right when I exited stream was when I headed out for the tour. That tournament was really good practice. I was super happy to play against those Pokemon trainers, those Pokemon trainers, or Pokemon and Pokemon trainers, but mostly Pokemon trainers. Oh. We're gonna ask, so you dropped when you were done? When I go to stream, I pretty much just like headed out for the tour, yeah. So this team here, this is one of the more popular Staraptor teams, with Tyranitar and Staraptor as the duo. But I'm pretty sure it's either Venusaur or Staraptor here that's going to be the Mega Evolutions. Venusaur is very, very, very likely holding a Mega Stone here. And then it could be Tyranitar or Staraptor. Because Staraptor, another set on that Pokemon that's pretty scary is Final Gambit. So what I could do... I think this lead could be pretty strong. I think this is our best lead here. Then we can have these 2 Pokemon back. Yeah, I think this is very strong. Ruin says that's fair. You did a TCGP tournament and dropped around because there was 9 Swiss rounds in a single day in Top Cut. Interesting, interesting. Pokemon is definitely unique where the total amount of rounds in a Pokemon tournament is pretty high compared to most games. It's pretty high. And what that means is most players end up playing around like 5 to 6-ish rounds. That's where I say like about the average is. Okay, for this first turn, I'm down to go for an early minimize. This is very likely Earth Power Venusaur, since Earth Power is a very common tech move on this guy. But it could still be Sleep Powder. Shadow Ball into my Pulse. Light Screen is going to help me narrowly live that, but this could be a double up. This could be a double up. I'm going to disable the Shadow Ball, which is pretty nice. Earth Power, that's Earth Power into my Overclock here. Doing 30% through the Light Screen. I'm gonna get this minimize off now. And we're still the fastest in the lobby. It says doing my first VGC tournament tomorrow at 1 PM EDT, the Amy vs VGC Arena. That's awesome! I hope you have a really fun tournament experience and you get to play some really great games. VGC tournaments are so much fun. So much fun. So here, I think the most difficult Pokemon to break through is going to be that Venusaur. I'm thinking let's go for 2... Let's go for 2 minimizes. Let's go for 2 minimizes. Make It Rain is going to miss. Their power is also going to miss. Very, very nice. Nice. So we're going to get some valuable chip on Venusaur. Venu being such a tanky Pokemon, every ounce of true damage we can get on that Pokemon, the better. Thing I'm a little bit less worried about, thanks to the Throat Chop we have being super factored into it. So now I'm thinking let's go for Trick Room and I'd say Stockpile. Seems pretty safe. We could also Throat Chop here, but I think Trick Room and Stockpile. We have a Light Screen up still, so should be able to take the double attack here potentially pretty well. I think I was gonna swap over T-Tar now. Okay, I'm pretty really throwing for the Stockpile then. Nice, another dodge. Greatly appreciate that. So this Venusaur is gonna be at half health, thanks to the curse damage, and Trick Room is going to go up. This Tyranitar could be slower than my Overclock, which is worth noting. Nice, yeah, very good damage. Right here, let's go for Heal Pulse, since we already used Minimize. I kind of wish I could use Symbol Beam on a Pokemon that has low evasion, but we can't, at least without risking a miss. Here, let's go for Swords Dance. We should probably get to +4 and then go from there. Your power's gonna miss. Nice, thank you. Hairstyle's gonna go for Brick Break. Okay, that's an interesting tech move. They usually do carry some kind of fighting attack, but I will end my life skin a little bit prematurely, which is a little scary. This curse is definitely piling on though. Viewden says, good evening! Good evening, Viewdens! Welcome to the chat! We are running a very gambling core strategy. We are not gambling Twitch, but we are running a very luck-based strategy right now in Pokemon Champions. I hope we're doing well. Hope we're having a swell one. right. I think here let's gamble. Let's go for the simple beam. It probably will like whiff anyway, but I just want to get one more. I want to get a stockpile off. Let's do more turns of Trick Room. I think let's go for a Sword Sense here. We can stockpile later. There we go. Rune says I'm playing with Yard, Incin, King Gambit, Caught, Bascus, and Sneasler. Oh, double fake out. Okay, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. I hope we're able to get a lot of experience with the team. Tournaments are really nice for just all the experience you can get, so much. Alright, nice. The Venusaur is going to take its own self out with the curse. So we're both going to get free switches here. So what I can do this turn is I can psych up with my Mega Malamar as I go for Throat Chop into the Tyranitar here. Yeah, this is going to be nice. That +6 attack, chat. Oh my gosh, +6 attack. This is gonna be so nice. Exegil is going to hit the field here. With there being 2 more turns of Trick Room, I can actually... I think it's better for me to go for a double attack here. They could very well protect, which would slow me down a little bit. But I want to make sure that I get this Exegil out. And that in turn will make it so... I break its Focus Sash, and when Trick Room ends, we're gonna be in a better spot. It says there's a lot of synergies with the team that you're not starting, you want to practice with it, and finding the waters when you use so much. Interesting! I think that's a great aspiration. Really great aspiration. How much do you analyze your own games, Roan? Since one of the best ways to spot those synergies that you feel you may be missing is through analyzing your own games. It says I don't know what those Pokemon movie, you know, Taichans and Pokemon named French. I'm just saying cheer for a widow. I'm happy to have you here. I try to make my content understandable for people that, you know, don't sweat Pokemon, as well as ones that do. So I'm happy to have you here. We get the vibe a little bit. I got Soda. How you doing, Virida? It sounds like you're just trying to vibe, which is cool. Do you play any like new games? Any recent releases? Oh, look at that, chat. That third chop into the Goldenga really strong. And getting the +6 attack is gonna make you pretty much powerful no matter what. And look at that superpower! Oh, nice, nice. Okay, yeah, that was a lockdown Pokemon game right there. Lockdown Pokemon game. Very nice. What I'm noticing about this team, right, is even though it's definitely a team that is... It's very matchup fishy, which is a term to say if you're playing a matchup where the opponents don't have the right answers into you, you will do amazing, like just outright amazing, as we saw right there, right? Like, I was able to put myself in really comfortable positions and just boom my opponent that game. And it was like really smooth, it was really smooth, really satisfying game. But if opponents have a little bit of text, like they have the Heavy Slam on the Mega Aggron, for example, or they have even stuff like Roar, that's when this team can become a lot harder to play. But I do think it's hilariously enough consistent enough on ladder to where you can place in the high ranks with it. Of course, this team is Pokemon Zoo's team, and Pokemon Zoo placed 147th on the ladder. So like clearly there is enough tools, there's enough in the toolkits to make this team, to make this a consistent team. But I will say something that was helpful for this team last season was the surprise factor. Like, this is really something that caught a ton of high-level players off guard the first time. But now this is a much more known strategy, the minimize stuff with overkill especially. There's actually, funnily enough, if you guys don't know, there was a YouTuber that made a video on overkill and the menacing things that this Pokemon could do. Let's take a look at this here. Oh, sorry about that, chat. But yeah, this creator here, Joe UX9, this player actually hit first in the North America rankings a couple years back, and he made a video about overkill, but instead of it being overkill with Mega Malamar, this is overkill with Delphox. But overkill as a Pokemon definitely became more known once this video drops, and ugh. It's a very extreme strategy, I will say. It's a strategy where if you face this, if you face this, you're not gonna have kind words to say to the player using it. Let's see what y'all are saying. Rin said, I'm vibing. Let's see. A big switch to games. I will not name this release a week ago, so. Oh yeah. This is holy code, my bad. I messed with I missed input on the bit of the transition, so there's a shit ton of Whirlpool on the screen. Let's see. Ruin says that Goldengo the Tyranitar got destroyed. Yeah. And yeah, +6 overkill is just gonna be doing a ton, right? He's like, that's a lot of attack. That's like 405 attack. By the way, y'all, if you have a cool team or a cool replay you want me to look at, now's a really good time to send them over. Since we got a fair bit of games done, fair few games between the week 4 set that we did, as well as the fun little lucky gambling kind of team that we just played. Army, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing amazing. How you doing? How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. There has been a ton of fun matches this stream. He says, how you doing? I'm doing really swell. We've been playing a fair bit of champions the last couple hours. First, we did something really fun called a Draft League tournament set, which is it's a pretty awesome thing where, let me show this off. Basically, every player in this group of like 10 players, they each get their own unique Pokemon that they take turns choosing. I played my set with this really fun, really unique team of Pokemon against my opponent, and it went really well. I was especially happy because I was really happy because Vivian here was just Vivian was incredible. Her sleep powders that set were just ridiculous. Like it was like the game would start and then just sleep powder, sleep powder, sleep powder, sleep powder. It made it really easy for Lopunny to get in position to go for close combats. It was a lot of fun. I was just trying to make ice type work. Oh, like ice type work in what way? Like, are you trying to use a certain ice type Pokemon, or is it like a all ice type team? Ice is definitely a delicate type for sure. We said I was building a Glaceon team. Glaceon, oh. Glaceon, oh wow. This is your favorite evolution? Ah, yeah, I see what you mean. Wow, Glaceon. It's so interesting because like, that's actually, I would say Glaceon's like, I've been actually, funny enough, I was thinking about evolutions earlier since I was watching a video from a different creator named DonutsVGC where he was ranking every Pokemon, and he talked a lot about like people and their favorites evolutions. And when he came to that segment and just talking about evolutions and stuff like that, I was thinking, huh, what is my favorite to least favorite evolution? I think Glaceon is definitely like in the top 4. Like, they are so, their design is just so cute. They're like a cat. They're like a little ice cat, even though they're not a cat. It's awesome. It says that the current lineup is a one Ninetales with Mega Magnetric, and then Glaceon with Mega Gallade, and then Mudokot alongside Quadsir. Sounds very... Huh. I like the idea of pairing the one Ninetales with Glaceon. Are you using Snowcook? Let me just see that here. Ooh. Oh wait, there we go. Snowcook, yeah? Yeah, Snowcook. Yeah, Snowcook is that's a fun ability right there. Fun ability to fight. Ari says, yeah, since both of Glaceon's abilities don't work out of snow between the ice body and the Snowcook. Definitely wants to have the help whenever possible. Glaceon's interesting. Chat, I was actually thinking of doing a challenge where I get a random Pokemon and I'm forced to build a team around it. Would y'all want to see that? Would y'all want to see me try to just build around a Pokemon that I don't even know what I'm gonna get, but I'm forced to make a good team around it? I think that'd be pretty darn fun to do. Ooh, so many achievements. Like 3 missions right there. There's 3 achievements, 4 missions. Oh, hell yeah. I asked, you can view battles. I can show you my teams if you want to. Yeah, sure. I'm up to both check out the team and run a match or 2 against it. I can also offer some suggestions. Alright. I'm gonna make that room. Room has been made. Here is the ID. I'm gonna zoom in on it. There we go. Is this leaking the password? No. Oh, it's viewer battles. It's viewer battles. So if you want to hop in, like, you know, go ahead. Maybe I can play the Aldino cheesy stuff against you guys. Hey, let me get Aldino off the ski. Everyone say bye to Aldino. Say bye to her. Aldino's saying bye. She's waving to y'all. Look at that. That was awesome. Shout out to Aldino. I'm really happy Aldino and Malamar just created hell on earth to my opponents. I'm a big fan of that. So does he from Roan Elmos. Hell yeah. What's he saw? Ian says I don't have Pokemon champions. Oh, you gotta get it. It's free. It's free. It says I go first. I'll first go with my challenge team. Challenge team. Bad. Bad. Oh, Mono Steel. Okay. Looks like the main Tailwind setter is either that Mega Scizor or that Skarmory. That's pretty interesting. It could be worth leading Malamar, but of course they're gonna have the Scizor as an option too. You know, I haven't tried this lead before, chat, but I'm thinking about trying something a little bit quirky here. Yeah, let's try this. Let's give this a shot. I haven't led Malamar with this team before since you have the Psych Up, right? So naturally you want to take advantage of the Psych Up by leading Chandelure or leading Overcool first. But against this kind of team with all these steel types, it could be better for me to get into the Malamar action right away. And it says, I played like 6th, 8th, and 9th gens for a little while, but Unite when I were my friend. Oh! Which of the three did you enjoy the most between the 6th, 8th, or 9th gens? I'm thinking here, chat. Pretty good play for me to go for would actually be this right here, where you trigger them with superpower. I should be able to live most things that these Pokemon go for. And something nice about this chat is that if they have the Mega Aggron, they do, I'm not leading a minimized Pokemon. And we did see on the ranked ladder that having the minimize into the Heavy Slam is very scary because they get the increased. I'm first. That's actually very interesting. It might have been better for me to not go for Trick Room then. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, we're learning. This is pretty scary because they do have Body Press as a play into my Altino. I'm gonna swap out here as Skarmory hits the field. Interesting. It might just Body Press me here. I'm gonna be moving actually before their Aggron under Trick Room. So that makes me think that this Aggron has some speed investment to it. In fact, I think it has to for that to happen. So I mean, ultimately not the worst that we got the Trick Room up. Oh no! Oh, I see what happened here. Oh, oopsie daisy. Okay, that's not the worst, but it's definitely gonna slow things down a bit. What I'm thinking actually now, chat, we're gonna make a bit of a rotation here. I don't necessarily want to go over Heavy Slam. Let's do this here. lot about the ability interactions with this team. Body Press is gonna go into my what was my Malamar slots as we go for the Acid Armor here. Green says, I guess I enjoyed Gen 6 the most. Interesting. As Road says, play through Gen 9A DA Arceus. A lot of modern gens here, a lot of very modern gens, which is, it's cool to hear. I think their being modern gen enjoyers is a sign that Pokemon's doing something right. Even Gen 6 is arguably modern. Really anything that's past Gen 4 is about the quote-unquote modern mark. Oh, okay. Aegis Slash in the back. We do have a lot of defense buffs, thankfully. We go for the Drill Run, though. That's a little bit scary. Do Wisp It. We have seen that Chandelure has taken a fair bit of damage already. Leftovers here. Do I survive an Aegis Slash attack? I'm not really sure I do. There's a question of the training on this Aegis Slash. Because their aggro is running some speed, you could actually argue that there's a good chance that this Aegis Slash also has a lot of speed on it. Let's first go for Minimize. Let's go for Minimize and Reflect. I don't really have Protect on many of these Pokemon here. But this is about the closest we can get. Sand Change happens, Poltergeist. Oh, okay, it's into my Aegis Slash, or it's into my Dragon Ball rather. I mean, that's fine. We're +2 defense, we're +2 evasion right now, we're +1 attacks, +1 special defense. Oh, Drill Run still connects. Okay. That's not the worst. As Rain ends here. Twisted goes back to normal. So here we have Psychic as a play. The opponent shouldn't have anything super effective into me. And they brought Mega Aggron, so I mean there may be Scizor still, but it's unlikely. I'm down to go for Flamethrower here and Psych Up. The Aegis Slash is gonna withdraw. For whom? And Porygon's gonna hit the field now, okay. So this probably is... Yeah, that's gonna be 2 KO, but they are gonna set up their Rain Dance now. I still don't think this is the worst. Now that I have the buffs from my onto my Malamar, it's gonna be a lot harder to take down. I'm thinking here, let's go for... I think Minimize could actually be pretty good here. Minimize and then Superpower to descend Porygon could be pretty nice. Yeah. Drill Run first. No crit, thank you. Okay, so they're just Rain Dance. I'm gonna be giving a free switch for one of their Pokemon, but that isn't the worst. We're gonna be +3 on our defense and +1 on our attack. Raiden said, oh, and I guess I played Showdown. with that same IRL friend as well. Oh, wait, IRL friends. Were you playing a lot of Pokemon with a buddy back then? So that's pretty darn cool. So chat, I think the play here, I'm down to double into this aggro slots. Nice, Jerwan's gonna miss. Thank you, thank you. Heavy Slam is also going to miss by Malamar specifically. Okay, that's good. I was worried that they went for Heavy Slam into my Shandor, but that is a lot better. Because I'm pretty sure Heavy Slam would hit the Shandor guaranteed there. Even if it's resisted, it's a little bit scary. It says in second using an attempt to use it for the Gen 6 trainer battle music. Gen 6 has really great battle songs. Really great battle songs for sure. Army says I'm cooked. GG Army! This is definitely it's a weird team to fight against, especially since it forces such extreme ways of playing the game. I wanted to use this team since this team is a little bit tricky. There's a little bit of text in it, but it's at least a lot more standard. Actually, I should probably just use like a really standard team. Wait, let me think of something here. Yeah, I can use this team. Instead, I like the matter, you also need to watch the chat and stream. I think let's do one more with Army and then afterward, bro, and then let's hop in. So you can play one more game against Army and then let's face up after. Yeah, Bearden says that they'll behave. Alright, says for now you're doing haze. Oh, we're fighting rain, chat. Oh, now that's interesting. So this kind of team, the team on the left here, actually used this team in the Grand Champions Festival Encore, and its goal is to get off a set of moves, something like a Nasty Plot, a Sword Dance, a Calm Mind, and then deal insane amounts of damage after you're buffed up. We got two Pokemon. We got the Incineroar, the Sneasler, which have Fake Out to help those set of moves go off, and then Rage Powder on the Sinisha helps a ton as well. Now against this kind of team, I'm thinking a lead like this could be pretty good. Then no, let's do this here. I think this is the best. This is a little tricky into specifically Pelipper plus Scizor. But I feel like you're gonna lead something like Sableye, if anything. Yeah, Pelipper Milotic. Okay, this is still pretty fine. In hindsight, it could have been better to bring the Sneasler, but it's still mostly okay. Of course, my Incineroar is in a shit ton of danger right now. I'm down to double out and go for Calm Mind here. Something that's worth thinking about is the training on this Milotic. My flight has a fair bit of speed, so it's likely going to outspeed Milotic anyway, but we'll see though, we'll see. Okay, Calm Mind, it's gonna buff our defense here. Very important since they have to call the competitive boost here. Icy Wind on the Milotic though. I say go for Tailwinds. I'm honestly down to go for a second Calm Minds here. They could have Scissor in the back. No, they very likely have Scissor in the back actually. I'm gonna want redirection against that Pokemon. There's a question of just actually let me try this. Let me try this here. Because you're unlikely to click a Weather Ball into the right slots. And if they go for Icy Wind again, they don't go for Icy Wind. Okay, it's Scald. Yeah, +2 Scald. Oh, the burn is not what I want to see. Go for Hurricane too. Interesting, okay. And being +2 is nice here. I think our play is going to be Protect Sucker Punch. Maybe I survive a +2 Milotic, but it's the problem is that it's also rain boosted. Let me see. I'm putting up a calc chat. Calc is short for calculator. +2 Scald in rain. I'm +2. Ooh, nah, that's a little bit too much damage here. No, I didn't switch in time. I did not switch in time. Ooh, okay, so yeah, Floyd goes down here, unfortunately. We can still navigate these turns decently okay, but much rather have my full at the knots here. My Rage Powder Sword Stance isn't looking too bad. I'm kind of betting a lot on King Gambit right now, though. We kind of have to do that with setup. However, he's going to withdraw as Sableye hits the field, so this could be Reflects the following turn. Do they go for Ice Wind here, or do they go for Scald again? Okay, Scald. Okay, there we are. Wow, that's a lot. No burn, no burn. Very, very likely Reflect coming up. We could probably get our King Gambit to +6 here. Problem is they probably still have like Focus Sashes and the like. But there's Reflect. So we're gonna have a +6 King Gambit. Oh, they Icy Winds. Okay, cool. So that means we can go for Sucker Punch a lot sooner than I thought. Let me just double check something. Just want to check this calc. Okay, nice. Yeah, +6 Sucker Punch is going to be KOing very physically bulky Milotic. Even through their Reflects, which is very appreciated. Let's see. Reedon says, anyway, maybe I could do a French mode winning mode like I did before. I'd love to practice my French right now. This is a very practiced French core stream. Something worth noting is that this Sableye could be running a tech move like Will-O-Wisp. Oh, they're just gonna withdraw now. So Pelipper's coming in probably? Yep. It's mostly Protect here. It's gonna Protect, okay. Maybe I could have attacked this right slot so I can break the Focus Sash now, but this isn't like the worst. I'd really like this Focus Sash broken though. I think let's go with Sucker Punch and Throat Chop here. Nice. So what did this Pelipper go for? It could be Tailwinds. Oh, it goes for Tailwinds. Okay, so we're gonna break its Focus Sash. Very nice. I don't 100% know if it has Focus Sash or not, but most Pelippers just run Focus Sash anyway, so being able to cover for that is just, it's very nice. Sharpedo hits the board here. That's not a Pokemon that I want to see right now. I think for now, let's just take out their partners. Luna! Thank you for the raid. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Welcome in Luna's chats. We were just playing one of the most luck-based strategies in Pokemon Champions. But now we're playing something a little bit more human, a little bit more kind to my opponents. Hope we're doing well, Luna. Hope we're doing well. So we're in a bit of a weird spot, chat. That Sableye is very likely running the Light Clay item, and Light Clay extends how long Reflect and Light Screen are out. So because of that, I'm a little bit worried that they are gonna have to sustain to survive my Sucker Punch here. Yep, they do have it. It's a little bit tricky. We're just gonna need to double attack into this Sharpedo here. Get as much damage as we can. I'm pretty sure the Sableye is carrying no attacks based on it going for... Yeah, exactly. It went for light spin and it went for Brain Dance, so very likely zero attacks Sableye here. Rain's ending this turn, but of course I can reapply it. They have 2 more turns of Reflects. There's of course the problem of well, let's see the damage. Let's see the damage. Sharpedo is generally a glass cannon kind of Pokemon, so they still do a fair bit of damage. Even okay, never mind. We just. That's a resist. That's a resist. That's a resist. That's a resist. That's a resist through Reflect, and King Gambit just one-shot it anyway. What? Oh. Okay, to be fair, I guess it's like it's +6 King Gambit. Maybe I was just maybe I was a bit paranoid, but like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Or was it GG's? GG. Wow. Okay, chat. I'm pulling up that calc. And it says I'm doing well. Gotten a bit farther into Pokemon Coliseum this evening. That's awesome. Very glad the Pokemon Coliseum adventures have been fun so far. Okay, I want to see that. Okay, so +6 King Gambit with Reflect. Okay, so we're doing 80 to 95 into max HP Sharpedo. But if they're not max HP, then that's a roll to just win a KO. Yeah, that's a very good roll actually to win a KO. Wow. I mean, I could see it, right? It is, as Armin has brought up, Sharpedo's defenses are not that great. 70-70 is just, it's like average. And I mean, yeah, +6 King Gambit with the Life Orb. Yeah, actually no, Black Glass, it's not Life Orb. I mean, I guess that's one of the fun parts about using really unique Pokemon. You indirectly force opponents to guess their calcs more, to second guess their calcs more. Very interesting for sure. Bro, you want to do one match? I think I'm doing one more match and then heading off for the night. Brick says no number. Hey Brick! Brick, great to see ya. We just played one of the most inhumane, most ballistic, sadistic strategies in Pokemon Champions. This is what we played. I'm just gonna zoom in on this Pokemon right here with minimize and stockpile, and minimize and psych up. So our opponents had a great time, a very great time fighting us. Brick says, I love November. Hell yeah. Wait, November is a great month. Chat, fun facts. My birthday is on Thanksgiving. It's on Thanksgiving. It's a pretty important day. Pretty important day. He says, you act like I know what any of this means. I was running a strategy earlier that instead of being about dealing as much damage as possible, it was about being as unkillable as physically possible. And it's great because some teams, if you use this against them, they throw their controllers at the wall because they can't do anything. It's a very sadistic way of playing the game. He says, are you going to do? Ow! Take care, Viridans. Have a great one. Have a great one. Rick asks, so Melee Puff? Parts of Melee Puff, yeah. There's definitely parts of Melee Puff. The one thing I'll say is that strategy I showed is it's It's more gimmicky than Melee Puff, because Melee Puff is just like a fundamentally really great Pokemon. Or, well, character fighter. Smash Bros character. There we go. Great Smash Bros character. While that one's, it's a little bit quirky, I will say. It's a bit of quirky strats. Okay, so we're facing off against several members of Big Six, but this is also the Sneasel variation, so dual fake outs. I think leading our own Sneasel here makes a lot of sense. I think leading our Sneasel alongside King Gambit, that seems really strong here. Something like this. Do we want dual fake out here? I don't necessarily think we want dual fake out, but it would be nice. I think this is pretty solid here. That's a pretty golden mother I say to myself. Hell yeah! Thanks for the follow, Bearded. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Arigatou gozaimashita. And they're going to leave King Gambit and Whimsicott here. This is pretty interesting. They do have to play a Tailwind with low kick here. There is the question of if their King Gambit even has low kick. But I still think it's worth getting aggressive into this opposing KG pretty much no matter what right now. And then we could text. Okay, Whimsicott's gonna protect first. Potentially to try and block a fake out. As my King Gambit protects. I don't know if mine has speed, so. Okay. So close combat as the Chocolate Berry is forced out. And nice, we get the KO. Very, very nice. The nice part about running Sneasler with specifically Max's hack right there is even if opposing King Gambits have Chocolate Berry, you still have a pretty good chance to one-shot them anyway. I will say this specific board is a little bit scary for me, mainly since this is where a Charizard could come in, for example. Or an opposing Caesar. Okay. Still pretty fine. Not sure the training on this specific Sneasler though. It could be Jolly, it could be Unburdened. I think our safest play here would be Poison Jab, Whimsicott, and switch Delphox. Switching Delphox here is nice because I resist both of Sneasler's stabs. And if they chose to fake out King Gambit, that's fine too. That is fine too. Tailwind's gonna go off so their Sneasler will be faster. But I resist every standard attack that these Pokemon have, except for, of course, well, fake out, but fake out doesn't really do damage, so it's pretty fine. I have a good chance to poison this Whimsicott here as well. But we don't get it. He says, Persona 3 Fest in November still? Yeah, surely. There'll at least be a few streams with it, I will say. We'll squeeze in our personas here and there. So here, chat, I'm down to go for. Oh no! I I'm down to this input, I guess. Ah. This is a little bit frustrating since that was definitely a great turn to click nasty plot, but we'll make it through. We're going to unveil one of our hidden techniques against this opposing team chat. So here's the thing, right? I just protected in front of a Whimsicott. Well, that's terrifying because Whimsicott has Encore. And Encore makes it so any attack I go for, I have to do it again. So if I get Encored into Protect, that's a really bad thing, right? That's terrifying. That's a really scary thing to happen. But I have Quick Guard. And Quick Guard is a special attack that makes it so any priority moves they go for, they all get blocked. So we see there they go for Moonblast and Dire Claw, but the thing is that they were forced to go for that combination of moves. They were forced to do that. And that one's still actually pretty scary because we saw how much damage they did. And that's a non. What's the word we're looking for? It's a damn scary amount of damage, I'll say that. The problem is that they also go faster. Let me try something here. It might have been best to do this the other way around. Actually, it was definitely best to do this the other way around. No, it definitely was better to do this the other way around. But oh, okay, sleep roll. I don't think I lived this. I do not. Okay. So on one end, I found a way to lose this game, which is never the best feeling. On the other end, this is still potentially doable. But I'm gonna have to take this very step by step. First, I'm just gonna need a chance to wake up here. A second Tailwind here. It's probably Tailwind close combat if I had to guess. Yep. Sinister burns a sleep turn here. Let's go for this. This does bet a bit on Sinisha getting the one turn wake. But I think this is Oh? Okay. So here's Moonblast into, I'm assuming, my Sinisha. Yep. I'm not gonna get the wake up, unfortunately. The problem is my Delphox doesn't really have enough health to close this out how I want to. If it did, we could be more aggressive here. Right now we're kind of just hinging on a roll. Oh my gosh, we timed that again! Oh, I love timing out. It's my favorite. Oh, I wake up too? Oh, that stings. Well, this could still maybe be okay, actually. This could actually be okay. Chat, the reason why I'm worried is because they have Charizard in the back. But if I'm thinking about this, right? This could honestly still be fun. Oh, they have Bastion Region. Okay, never mind. GG's. Wait. This still could be scary, actually. This still could be scary. This still could definitely be scary. It's gonna depend on what moves they have. But I could do this. Well, there's something about no Mega Pokemon this game. No Mega Pokemon in sight. Rage Powder. I'm gonna go for Last Respect, so it's gonna take me out. Alright, very nice. Alright, cool. You can go for a Sucker Punch and Psych Shock next turn if Kowtow doesn't just like obliterate their timeline. Cool. Alright, nice. Is this a back now? GG. Soda. Yummy. Oyster. So yummy. Resident Evil with the press protect for the second time. You read that perfectly. Thank you. Definitely the timing of getting the KO was the biggest thing there. It was a very mind-gamey back half of the game. One of the lessons that's just so interesting with this game is being able to get protects at the right time, or get KOs at the right time. Something I've been noticing that's been rewarding or punishing that skill is Hard Trick Room. Since Hard Trick Room is so... it's all about making the right calls at the right time. Like, that's his whole entire thing. King Gambit. King Gambit League was decent last game with Sneasler. I think we're trying to hard punish that. You'd go something like Charizard with maybe your own KG. I think this is the best adaptation here. KG was strong when their Sneasler was cleared out. I don't know if they're... well, they're Dire Claw, right? So they're probably White Herb. Since their White Herb instantly becomes a little bit weaker. I feel like you're going to lead more than Charizard that game after... yeah, I think I have enough Sneasler hate, actually. It's very likely a Zard adaptation here. Alright, game 2. Game 2. It's Sneasler and King Gambit, so the same lead actually. Actually, no, not the same lead. That was got last time. That's my bad. Let's go for this here. something really important here is going to be the training on their Sneasler. Similar to last game, there being 2 Sneaslers that could be extremely fast changes the way these turns need to get powered in a lot. Because if their Sneasler is faster than mine, I need to protect turn 1. But if mine is faster, then I can safely go for Nasty Bot here. That's not good. Yeah. I took the risk. But we're gonna be pretty far behind because of that. In that case, let's do this here. I'm down for King Gambit to hit the field now. Here, I wouldn't be surprised if you play more defensive with your squad here, but this is still Chopo King Gambit, right? So it could be packing low kick or one of the moves like that. But I feel like you're likely to switch this slot out at the same time. This is, oh my god, another. Chat, I need to go to bed. This is like, this is ridiculous, the amount of timeouts that are happening. Pretty much like a lot of damage for nothing that turn, basically. This isn't the absolute worst, but it's just really bad. I think we need a double text and switch instant here. We can intimidate the Sneasler now, which is pretty nice. Of course, you need to respect the opposing KG. We get the double text, which is good. Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch into the instant, okay. CC into KG. So protect Sucker Chopple. It could still very well be low kick, but I just have to play like they're not. Okay, Sneasler's gonna protect here. What's KG go for? Might SDs. They could also have SD Gambit here, to be fair. Ah, it is low kick. Okay. The turn 1 definitely was the most important turn in this game. I also have CC as a player now. I also have Fake Outs. If Flare-Blitz crits, I think we just need to pin the Sneasler slot actually. Yeah, I tried to Sucker Punch, but priority. Take that out. That is their fastest Pokemon. It could still be caught though. Okay, they're Oninson. So I think the play here is to double attack their KG. I could also quick guard, but no, I think actually quick. No. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's 100% quick guard. But they could play around a quick guard, which could actually benefit me here. No, they don't. Okay. Okay, so quick guard and Flare Blitz would be the best play there. That's worth noting. What's this cat? No, it's cat's out. It's a cat's out. It's cat. Okay. Yeah, it's cat's out. I think it's a pretty simple adjust. It's gonna play a little bit different. On that turn 1. Of course, that's gonna snowball and have the biggest effect on the other turns. Alright, game 3. Game 3. I still think that lead is the best lead, I'd say. Also, both games there was no Mega. Even though they lost the first one. I don't really think Sinist's burst is gonna be like that helpful here. So we're picking this for the redirection. If we do. I think it could also be strong. The problem is that they're bringing both KG and Sneasel in a lot of their games. So it's a question of how much Zard hate do I have if I don't. I still think we have answers into both of their non-brings if we go this score though. What could be an option as well. The problem is that their Sneasler is faster, and they're pressuring with Unburden as well. Sneasler KG again. me try something a little bit greedy here. Fake out's gonna get blocked. And yeah, Kowtow Cleave. So they went for the same play. Here, Mega Nasty Plots. Rage Powder. So then this redirects the Sucker Punches. This redirects the other options they could go for here. I don't want a Trick Room. Even though the Sneasler could be eventually close combating. Actually, I'm not sure if this Delphox spread is faster or not. That's the big question. Then there's Sneasler rather than there's Sneasler. Since the Sneasler is max speed, I think it is. I would need to see though. Rage Powder here. So Sucker Punch is gonna get denied thanks to the Rage Powder. We're gonna get the Nasty Bot off. And we are faster than their Sneasler, so that's a really great thing to note. Dies a Claw into my Sinistcha. Okay. I don't think I need +4 for this, but it can be nice. But I think it's also important that we protect our Sinistcha. Sucker Punch is gonna get blocked again. Dude, double connects, thank you! +2 Heat Wave into a super effective Pokemon and a Sneasler! nice. Okay, so last time their back Pokemon were Basculegion and Incin. So both of those hit the field now. We could double out and pressure with our own Fake Out. Basculegion and Incineroar. So Protect here, of course, is looking really good. We don't have Incineroar though. That's worth noting. We don't have Incineroar. So we teched, and then what? I think we teched Matcha? What a way to like efficiently deal with this Incineroar. And to that ends, I think getting our Mon in with a Hard Switch is actually best. Well, not a Hard Switch, not a Hard Switch. Actually, the opposite of a Hard Switch, sacrificing. Likely Fake Out here. Okay, Raw Last Respects. That's gonna take out my Sinistcha. And this is a Darkest / Throat Chop with Incin. So since their Chocolate Berry is on their King Gambit, it's not on this Incineroar. The scary thing is they do have Aqua Jet as an option, but I do have a lot of bulk. I think spreading the damage here is best. Well, I don't have an immense amount of bulk, but I have like a very good amount of bulk. So I should be able to tank a Basculegion Aqua Jet still. And you don't have any sort of field effects up. Like no Tailwinds or Trick Room from my end or anything like that, so. This is going to, oh, it's a Scarf Blast Respect set. Okay, so that's going to force me to Focus Sash. Okay, worth noting, very worth noting. Psychic's going to connect. Gets a 1 KO on the Basculegion. Very, very nice. Finally, was combat. Let's see. Nice. Okay, nice. GG. Very nice. We're able to learn from our previous game that the Sneasler on their squad is Jolly 32, which is like pretty much as fast as possible. Maybe it's not like fully max speed, but it's just a very high chance that it is max speed at that point. So we adjusted our lines around that, and we're able to close out the game in a pretty smooth way. So pretty cool. GG Ron, GG. It was cool to have a game 3 today. Very cool. Ron says only King Gambit and Incineroar are not max speed. Oh wow. That's a lot of speed. That is a lot of speed. Pretty awesome day, guys. Pretty awesome, pretty swell day. Pretty swell. Let's switch things over. Alright. GG everyone, GG. Pretty fun day today. Pretty fun day. We first played a draft tournament set. It's a very unique style of tournament. We got to feature a fun little buddy here, Ryu Nicholas, and Ryu Nicholas definitely pulled her weight in that first game, and we closed out that set pretty smoothly. And then afterward, it was Audino time. It was Audino with Mega Malamar. They were tearing up the ladder with their super luck-based strategy. It was a lot of fun. And then closing out the stream, we got to play a few viewer sets with you all. It was cool to talk with you all, play a few fun games as well. Got a pretty close game 3 against Rowan. We also got to play against Artie earlier in the chat. It was a lot of fun. I hope we all had a lot of fun as well. But chats, we are going to raid now. We're going to raid into the opponents here. Whoop. Not the opponents. We're going to raid into Ender. Ender, if you all don't know, incredible Pokemon content creator and one of the best Unite players of all time. However, they are not playing Pokemon Unite. They are playing Pokemon Champions, and Ender has been grading Pokemon Champions a ton. So show Ender some love. I'm gonna sleep. Take care.